and welcome back to the Advanced Excel tutorial. This is Trisha Jaktani and today I am going to take you through the XMATCH function. XMATCH was added to Microsoft Excel along with the XLOOKUP function, and just like the XLOOKUP function replaces your VLOOKUP and is more advanced and flexible, your XMATCH also can replace the match function and is more flexible. Just like the match function, XMatch is also used to find the position of a particular item in an array or a range. However, XMatch is made more powerful in terms of the flexibility in which it looks for an item. The key difference between the match and the XMatch function are the following. We will go one by one and see the examples along with it. So the first one is, while the match function defaults to the exact or the next smallest item, XMatch defaults to the exact match. What does that mean? We already know that when we do the match function, the third argument, which is the match type, it automatically defaults to the less than, which is either it will look for the exact match or something for the less than. However, if you do an XMatch, it automatically defaults to the exact match. So let's do the match function first. What are we going to do is, in our example sheet that I have here, I have the names of the customer given to me along with their sales data, that is the revenue data that is given to me. I need to identify the position of those customers which is given in this cell and throw those positions here from the list that is given to me in column B. I'll start with the match function and see what is the difference between the two. The match function, where I have the lookup value, so I'm going to pick up the lookup value as H3, comma, lookup array is going to be my customer name. I select the whole customer name and then comma, I will have to give 0 or enter the exact match in order to get the exact match. Otherwise, it will not give me the correct result. You will see that it is automatically picking the result for rest of them, which I'm going to delete for now. I'll go to the next one. Now, if I want to not use the match function and use the XMatch, it is very simple to use the XMatch because here the lookup value that I'm going to pick up is going to remain the same. The next argument is also exactly the same as the match function, where the lookup array is going to be the customer name column. And now I do not have to give the third and the fourth argument because they are optional. And like I mentioned, by default, the match mode in this case is going to be 0 or the exact match. So it is automatically picking up and I do not have to. So by mistake, if I miss the last one, it would XMatch will automatically pick up the exact match as the match mode. So this becomes more powerful in terms of not remembering what you had to enter in the last argument. The next function the next difference between the XMatch and the match is that there are two more things added to the XMatch function. When I say XMatch function, two more things, if you will see here, in the XMatch, while the match mode was already there in the match function, in the match function, the last option was not available in the match mode. And this is called as the wildcard character match. Now, what is that? Let's look at that. Wildcard means when you have a data in front of you, but you do not know the full name of that particular lookup value. For example, I have the name of the customer, which is USVI schools. I know it was some schools, but I don't remember the first part of that customer name. I only remember the second part. Now, if I want to identify the position of that particular customer, it will be very difficult if I have data in thousands or millions. And I only know the last part. In that case, what I can do is, I can use something called as the wildcard option. Here I had already entered star away, but I can change that to saying star school because this time I'm looking for something with the school. Now, while this is not really possible in match, you will have to do a lot of changes. Your XMatch makes it very, very simple to use the wildcard checking or position search. So now the lookup value is going to be hash school, lookup array is going to be your customer column again. The match mode, in this case, I'm going to pick up as 2, which is the wildcard match, character match. Once I do 2 and enter, it will automatically pick up as 19. Let's check if that is correct. So if I go and check, this is the 19th column. Definitely it is going to be correct because I'm starting from the first column and going up to this USVI schools is the 19th. So if XMatch makes it even more simpler, if you do not know the full name, you can use the wild character search to identify the position of a particular data. Now let's look if XMatch can replace your index and match function. To a certain extent, I would say yes, but not completely. And why would I say that? Let's look at how to perform an index match function with your X match. The only difference with the index and match, you have to use the match function as it is, but in the index match, obviously you have option to use the wildcard as well, wildcard character search. Also, you have an option where you do not have to put the default value, which is the exact match. So that's the only difference that you can say when it comes to the index and match. For example, I have the data here which I am looking for. Let's do the simple index match and identify that first. So if I have the data here where I have the name given to me, their UR number, address, city, and postal code. I have another table where the UR number is given at the top and I need to identify their name, city, and postal code. To perform a simple index match, I can do that by using the array which I pick up from here, freeze that, comma. Now my row number that I have to identify depends on my UR number. So I'm going to do a match, a simple match where I will pick up the UR number, and from this list I will say you have the lookup array, comma, I have to give a 0 here as the match type, comma. Now my column number is depending on what is given on the left hand side. What is that I want? So then I'll have to do a match again. When I do a match, my lookup value is going to be the name, comma, the column that I have to pick up from the top, which is this, and then comma, the last one is 0. I'll just freeze this so that it doesn't move. This was a simple index and match function that I have used. I can drag this down to get the result for the rest.
Congratulations on completing the business dashboard using Excel course. Ready to elevate your career? Join our postgraduate certificate in data science and AI and gain exclusive benefits like a complimentary Python programming bootcamp, 7+ case studies, dedicated student support, and access to our job opportunities portal. Don't miss out on this chance to transform your career. Invest in yourself today and join our program. Click on the link in the description to enroll now and take the next step in your career journey.
Now, one more thing that I'll have to freeze here is C10 because this part cannot move. So I'll just freeze that and this is done. Now, if I have to use this against a XMATCH, what I'll have to do is I will do the index and the same thing instead of doing index and match, I'll do index and XMATCH. So I'll select this whole data, comma, my row number depends on the UR number. So XMatch lookup value is going to be this, comma, my UR number is this. So I'm going to pick up that value. I'll freeze my first part also like I did it for the other one. And instead of giving any default value, I'll close that, comma, again my XMatch. In this case, my lookup value is going to be B11, comma, again it has to go on the top, freeze it. Here like C10, I'll have to freeze the C10 as well and then close the bracket. So the only thing that I'm not doing here is adding the default value which is already given, and it saves my time or just effort, or if I forget sometime I can use the XMatch. It becomes easier for me to use that, more flexible. Now moving on to see one more example of the XMatch. Why am I going to show you this example is because there is also something called as the exact match or the less than and exact match or greater than. How you can replace your VLOOKUP with the approximate match with your XMatch. So if I'm doing a XMatch here, let's say I have the example here where I have the income given to me. Income value is $0, $0, even if it is anything starting from a zero income to 8,455, I have to pay an interest of 13%. So of course, if it is a zero income, you don't have to pay anything. But anything from 0 to 8,455, I have to pay an tax rate of 13%. Now it is very simple that I will be able to identify that. However, if it goes above 8,455, I have to pay 18%. And then if you move ahead from 8,456 to 15,873, I have to pay 18%. After that, it's 15,874 to 36,896, I have to pay 20%, and so on and so forth. That's the tax slab that is given to me. Now, the income that I have earned is given to me here, and I need to identify the tax slab that I'll have to pay, or the tax percentage that I will have to calculate from my income. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the XMatch. Here my lookup value is going to be the income that I have earned, or the cell where it's mentioned the income. My lookup array, because I'm looking for the tax rate, I'm going to take the lookup array as my lookup value is D2. So I'm going to look up for the lookup array from the income column. So my lookup value was this, comma, income is this, comma, and because I'm looking for something which is either this value or less than this value, I'm going to pick up exact match or next smaller one, which is called as -1. So I take -1, close the bracket, enter. What does it give me? Why does it say 300%? Because now this cell is converted into percentage. If I change it into general, you will see that it is giving me 3. Why is it giving you 3? Because X match gives you the position of the cell. What is it that I'm looking for? The position is 3. Now, this is where the data is available, which is less than 8,500. Now, what I need to do in order to identify that 18%, I'll do an index function just along with the match. Here, the index function is going to be even more simpler because I'm not going to take the full table. I'll only take the data which I'm going to look from, which is the tax rate. So I'll pick up that, comma. My X match is going to be remain the same, which is what I need the rows to be found out. Close the bracket. So what it will do, it will look from B1 to B7, and then with the match function, X match function, it will look for the position. The position is 3. And once I've done that, it will enter, and here it will give me the percentage. I can change this back to percentage so that it gives me the data. Now, if I change the data from here, it automatically should reflect the information here as well. Now, it is remaining same because that's what the tax slab is. So if it becomes 16,000, tax slab changes to 22%. So this is how you can use your index and match function instead of, you can use index and X match function instead of using the index and match function. Depending on what your requirement is, you can actually use all the arguments that is given in the X match. So here we have already seen how you can use the wildcard match. You have already seen how you can use the X match, exact match or the next smaller value. Similar to the exact match or the next smaller value, exact match or the next larger value will give you the next higher value instead of, say, if you don't look at the 8, if it is 16,000, the next higher value is going to be 36,000. But that's not what we are looking for in this case. That's why we have taken the exact match or the next smaller value. So this is how the X match has become more flexible, and it can be more useful when it comes to using it with any other function like index. With regards to the compatibility of your Excel, again, just like XLOOKUP, it does not work with any 2019 or the lower version. You need to have Office to 365 version in order to get your XMatch function. Hope you found this tutorial useful. Keep watching for more of such new functions that has been added to the Microsoft Excel and the other functions as well. Thank you.